Update 2. When I went into debt to pay for my niece's college, my sister promised, "We'll pay you back with interest." But when I needed help paying my medical bills, she hung up on me. "You've always been a pathetic leech." My brother added, "You're not family. You're just a convenience." That week, I sold something I never thought I would. And with that money, I made sure they'd feel true inconvenience very, very soon. I went to the pharmacy that day to pick up a medication I couldn't afford and sat in the car in the parking lot for over an hour. I didn't cry right away. I just sat there, hollowed out. Then it hit me all at once. I started sobbing so hard I thought I might throw up. They weren't just saying no. They were rewriting the whole story. I'd given up my early 20s to raise Maura. I'd sacrificed my body, my money, my home. I'd let Caleb and Diane off the hook over and over. And in the end, all I was to them was a problem, an obstacle, a thing they didn't want to remember. That weekend, I opened a box I hadn't touched in years. Inside was my grandmother's ring. She left it to me in her will, an old platinum ring with a pale aquamarine stone. She wore it every day until she died. I used to hold it when I was anxious. It reminded me that someone once thought I mattered. I took it to a jeweler. He appraised it for more than I expected, $12,500 cash. He said I could wait and get more if I listed it privately. I didn't want to wait because this wasn't just about treatment anymore. I was done being the convenience. And they were about to find out what real inconvenience looked like. I didn't touch the ring money right away. I left it sitting in my checking account, just watching the number, $12,500. The most money I'd ever had at once. It didn't feel good. It felt like loss, but also like freedom. The first real freedom I'd had in years. I used $2,300 for my first round of treatment. It helped a little. I could get out of bed more often. I could think more clearly. The pain didn't vanish, but I could function. I started writing everything down, dates, amounts, promises. I gathered loan statements, saved emails from Maura about tuition, screenshots of old text messages. I wasn't sure what I was building. I just knew I had to. I found an old email from Caleb sent right after Maura's acceptance letter came in. He had written, "Let's all chip in. You get the loan. We'll cover payments after graduation. That's the deal." I stared at the words over and over. That's the deal. I'd held up my end. I checked Maura's social media next. Her page was private now, but her boyfriend's wasn't. He had dozens of photos, vacations, parties, restaurants. One post caught my eye, a picture of a new apartment. High ceilings, modern kitchen, downtown Chicago. Moved into our dream place. Couldn't have done it without Maura and her new promotion. Briefcase, money bag emojis. I hadn't known she'd been promoted. I hadn't even known she was working again. Her last message to me had made it sound like she was barely getting by. I kept looking and saw something that made my stomach twist, a photo of Caleb and Diane at a family barbecue, standing right next to Maura in Chicago. The caption read, "Family always finds time for each other." So, they were still close. They were in touch while I was blocked. That's when I decided I wasn't going to beg. I was going to get what I was owed, with or without their help. The first thing I did was make an appointment with a lawyer. A friend of a friend recommended a legal aid group that helped people with student debt cases. The lawyer was young, probably younger than me, but she listened carefully. I showed her all the emails, the proof of the loan, the messages. She told me something that made my chest tighten. Technically, unless there was a formal contract, there was no legal obligation for them to pay. But she said there might be civil grounds to sue for promissory estoppel, if I could show that their promise had led me to take on debt I wouldn't have otherwise. "It's a long shot," she said. I nodded. "I've taken longer shots," I said back. She helped me draft a demand letter. It wasn't emotional. It was cold, just facts, the loan amounts, the years I paid, the promises made, the money owed. I sent it to both of them, certified mail. I expected a storm. But what I got was silence. 2 weeks passed. No word from either of them. Then one night, I got an email from Caleb, just one line. "Don't contact me or my family again. This is harassment." I forwarded it straight to the lawyer. She told me to hold steady, but the damage was already spreading. That week, I got a call from our old family friend, Teresa. She was close with my mom before she died. She said she'd just talked to Diane, Caleb's wife, and that they were telling people I was mentally unstable and obsessed with money, that I was trying to extort the family. It hit me like a punch. I hadn't expected sympathy from them, but I hadn't expected full-on character assassination either. They were trying to erase everything I did. They were rewriting history to paint me as a parasite. I could have stopped. I could have dropped it. But then I thought of all the times I paid more in rent instead of mine. All the birthdays I missed working overtime. The year I didn't buy a winter coat so she could go on her senior trip. They didn't get to rewrite that. So I made a decision. If I wasn't family to them, I'd treat them like strangers. And with strangers, you don't offer grace. You protect yourself. And you make them regret underestimating you.